the structure of everything is energy, not solid mass, energy. And we are decoding energy fields into apparently solid forms in the same way as my computer next to me here takes electrical pulses and mathematical codes and turns them into pictures and graphics and colors and on the screen from the internet. You know, we live in what I've described and I describe as the cosmic internet. The internet is a terrific mirror of the reality that we experience. You know, the only place the internet exists in the form that we perceive it, websites, colors, graphics, movies, videos, is actually on the screen. It doesn't exist like that anywhere else. Everywhere else it's, like I say, electronic pulses and mathematical codes. Same with television. The only place that television exists as we perceive it in moving pictures and what have you is on the screen. Everywhere else it's codes and it's frequency fields depending on the form that you're involved with. And so what the body computer is doing is taking vibrational information. It's changing it through the five senses. It's transforming it into electrical information. Same information, just a different form. And what the five senses do is they take the vibrational information, they turn it into electrical information, and they transmit it to the brain. The brain then takes that and decodes it into an apparently solid world, and it turns that into the world we think we're experiencing. The brain, if you like, is like the computer screen or the television screen, the only place where the world that we perceive to be outside of us actually exists. And so things look solid because the brain decodes them that way because of the information contained within them, in the same way that a computer or a virtual reality game will make something look solid when it's nothing of the kind. So when we come to this shape-shifting, the shape-shifting, the movement from one form to another, one apparently solid form to another, is not taking place in that way, solid to solid and back to solid. The only place the shape-shifting takes place is in the decoding system in the brain. Mm-hmm. What's moving, what's shifting, is energetic information, not solid bodies. And so when you have these bloodlines, they are energy. That's what they are in their prime form. They're vibrational energy. So is DNA. So it's just information. So when they have this interbreeding, we see it in the decoded world as genetic procreation and genetic mixing, but what it is energetic mixing. And so it creates a vibrational field, that hybrid connection, that vibrates to a certain frequency, and that frequency is in sympathy, far more sympathy, with these reptilian entities that operate just outside visible light than the general run of the population is. So these particular hybrid bloodlines were created for that very reason, because what they are in fact are merely genetic shells which allow these entities outside of visible light, though not far outside, to possess, quote, these bodies, this age-old theme you find all over the world, possess these bodies and take over their mental and emotional processes. Not that there's much emotion involved in these guys. And so this is what is happening. And I don't care if people believe it. I mean, it's of no interest to me. I'm interested in what's going on, you know, not winning a popularity contest.
Mm. You know, they've said I'm not normal. I can't bloody believe it. Someone told me the other day, Ike is mad, he's not normal. You know my response to that? You know, my response has always been, thank bloody God for that, right? What a relief. A world that's insane thinks I'm mad, thank you, God.
Carl Sagan, who was kind of a mainstream man in so many ways, he wrote this book, The Dragons of Eden, about the reptilian connection to humanity and human genetics. And he says in there, was the effect to understand the human's reptilian characteristics is to understand so much about human behavior. Quite right. It's in the DNA, the hard drive, which has been put in there. Now, one of the hardest things that people have to understand, and I completely appreciate it, is this idea of shape-shifting. Now, it's an ancient thing in terms of accounts all over the world. Not just shape-shifting between human and reptilian, but shape-shifting between human and many different forms, animal forms, etc. And people perceive it, because we're so locked into this reality is real, as like a physical, solid human body transforming into a solid reptilian body and then back again. Because I've spoken to people all over the world, in vast numbers now, who have seen this phenomenon of seeing someone, a human, suddenly transform into a reptilian figure and then come back again. And the ancient accounts talk about the same thing. And people think, hey, it's impossible, mate. How could a body change into another body? I mean, the person would die, wouldn't they? Well, that's not what's happening. As we talked about in the first half, the only place that the physical reptilian form and the physical human form exist is in here, when their energetic form is decoded into a holographic, apparently physical form. So when something's shape-shifting, it shifts in the decoding mechanism by which we decode different energy fields. It's literally like changing a television channel. You've got the human field, which is obscuring the reptilian field, because they hide behind the human field, so we don't know what the hell's going on. And if I'm observing the human field, that's the prime field that I'm decoding, I will see a human. But if this becomes the prime field, suddenly, for whatever reason, I'm now decoding the reptilian field, the reptilian energy field. What is happening in my decoded system in my mind is I'm seeing a human physical form, reptilian physical form, human physical. Did you see that? The bloke's just changed into a bloody lizard. So it's in the decoding that shapeshifting takes place. Because there is no physical form out there. It's in here. That's where it all goes on. And this movement of energy fields is where we get confused, and it's where the decoding mechanism makes us think that very strange things are going on.